ready for it?
I'll be your host this evening. My name is Taylor, and welcome to the Eras Tour.
Taylor Swift has built an empire out of love, heartbreak, and the art of human connection. With over 14 Grammy Awards, billions of streams, and a devoted fan base that spans generations, she's not just a pop star, she's a cultural force. Yet despite being at the center of modern fame, there's one category of men she has never been associated with: crypto guys. These tech-savvy entrepreneurs, often self-made millionaires or billionaires, dominate Silicon Valley. Yet none have ever been on Taylor's romantic radar. In a world where tech tycoons date supermodels and startup founders walk red carpets, why has Taylor Swift consistently stayed away from that scene? It's not about money. Taylor Swift is estimated to be worth over $1.1 billion as of 2024, thanks to her record-breaking Eras Tour, re-recorded albums, merchandise, and streaming royalties. She doesn't need a partner for financial support. What she values instead is creativity, emotional intelligence, and the kind of storytelling that defines her work. Crypto, and much of the tech industry around it, simply doesn't offer what she's looking for. First, let's talk about Taylor Swift's creative foundation. From the beginning of her career, she's been surrounded by artists, songwriters, actors, dancers, and directors. Her first major relationship in the public eye was with Joe Jonas, a fellow pop star. Since then, her dating history has included British actor Joe Alwyn, singer Harry Styles, and even actor Tom Hiddleston. These are men who, like her, operate in creative spheres where emotions, stories, and aesthetics matter just as much as success. Her songwriting alone proves how deeply she connects with emotion. She's written songs like All Too Well, Lover, and You're on Your Own, Kid, which resonate with people because they reflect raw, vulnerable, deeply human experiences. This is the opposite of how crypto culture presents itself. The world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and decentralized finance is dominated by logic, numbers, risk analysis, and complex technical systems. While it may be intellectually stimulating, it's rarely emotionally expressive. In fact, a 2022 study published by the Harvard Business Review on tech culture and relationships found that individuals working in high-tech financial spaces like crypto tend to prioritize achievement, innovation, and autonomy over emotional connection and communication. This doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means their world operates on different values. For someone like Taylor Swift, who has spent her life translating emotions into music, this kind of relationship would likely feel cold and disconnected. Another factor is the cultural and social mismatch. Crypto culture, especially in its early days, was heavily male-dominated. According to a 2021 report by CNBC, more than 70% of crypto holders in the United States are men, and many of them are under 35. The industry is still often described as a boys' club, filled with Reddit threads, Discord chats, and venture capital buzzwords. That environment is worlds away from the poetic, emotionally rich, and often feminine energy that Taylor cultivates in her music and public persona. Her fan base reflects this. The majority of Swifties are women and LGBTQ+ fans who find empowerment, comfort, and reflection in her lyrics. Her entire brand is based on understanding the human experience, particularly the experiences of people who often feel unheard. In contrast, the crypto world often gets criticized for lacking inclusivity and compassion. Scandals like the FTX collapse and controversies involving figures like Sam Bankman-Fried have only fueled public skepticism about the emotional and ethical maturity of that world. Taylor Swift is also someone who carefully curates her image and relationships. When she re-released her old albums to take ownership of her masters, it wasn't just a business decision. It was a personal, emotional, and feminist statement. She's strategic, yes, but also deeply principled. She's not likely to associate herself romantically with an industry that frequently draws negative headlines for scams, pump-and-dump schemes, and market manipulation. Take, for example, the infamous Super Bowl crypto ads of 2022. Nearly every major exchange, from Crypto.com to FTX, bought commercial time in an attempt to legitimize their platforms. But not Taylor. According to the New York Times, she was one of the few celebrities approached by FTX who declined to take part. She reportedly asked a key question: "Can you tell me that these assets are not unregistered securities?" That kind of critical thinking, especially when nearly every celebrity was chasing a paycheck, shows that she doesn't buy into hype without asking tough questions. Instead of chasing trends, Taylor Swift sets them. Whether it's shifting from country to pop to indie folk, or reviving the concept of physical albums in a streaming era, she moves according to her own creative instincts. That independence means she doesn't need to attach herself to Silicon Valley to stay relevant. In fact, it might hurt her brand. Crypto remains controversial, volatile, and politically divisive. For someone as image-conscious and strategic as Taylor, that's a risk not worth taking, especially when her identity is built around connection, storytelling, and trust. Another important point is that Taylor Swift is deeply social. Her songs and interviews reveal a person who thrives on relationships: friends, collaborators, fans. She regularly writes about shared experiences, emotional growth, and human connection. By contrast, much of the crypto world has a reputation for being antisocial or even reclusive. The stereotype of the crypto bro, a man in a hoodie coding at 3 a.m. with no social life, isn't just a meme. It reflects a subculture that often values workaholism and isolation over community and communication. This difference in lifestyle and worldview would make a relationship difficult. Taylor's career involves touring, performing, red carpets, interviews, and collaborations with artists all over the world. Her world is dynamic, emotional, and people-driven. Crypto professionals, on the other hand, often work in digital silos, focused on abstract problems, market trends, and technical tools that don't resonate with her artistic process. There's also the issue of fame compatibility. While some crypto founders have become famous in their own right, think Vitalik Buterin or Sam Bankman-Fried, they often shy away from traditional celebrity culture. Taylor Swift, by contrast, embraces it as part of her art. She uses her public persona to connect with fans, promote her work, and create cultural moments. A partner who doesn't understand or respect that world might not be a good match. In fact, this idea of alignment comes up repeatedly in her lyrics. In Daylight, she sings, "I once believed love would be burning red, but it's golden, like daylight." The people who've inspired her most profound songs weren't financially impressive. They were emotionally significant. She writes about moments, not investments, about conversations, not conversion rates. Her songs are filled with tiny human details: laughing on the floor, a glance across the room, a goodbye that lingers. That's not to say all people in tech or crypto lack emotion, but the public image and dominant values of the crypto space, efficiency, profit, disruption, don't align with Taylor's priorities: emotion, meaning, and legacy. Even her most recent projects reflect this. The Eras Tour, for example, was a deeply nostalgic, theatrical celebration of her entire career. It wasn't designed to maximize revenue through flashy digital tricks. It was a live, human-centered experience. It celebrated art, not algorithms. That's the kind of world Taylor lives in. That's the kind of love she writes about. So when people ask why she's never dated a crypto guy, the answer isn't complicated. It's not because she's unaware of that world or against technology. It's because those relationships don't offer what she truly values. Taylor Swift is about emotion, not equations. Story, not stats. Connection, not coin. And that's what continues to make her such a powerful, relatable figure. She shows that even in a world dominated by tech, data, and disruption, there's still room for stories, feelings, and genuine connection. And in her world, that matters more than any Bitcoin wallet or digital portfolio ever could. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Taylor Swift's choices and the contrast between creative and tech-driven cultures, don't forget to subscribe for more celebrity insights, cultural analysis, and behind-the-scenes stories. There's always more to explore, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.